All right, joining me now is Michael Pillsbury, Hudson Institute Director of the Center of Chinese Study and Strategy. Michael, thanks for joining me. So, listen, you have been talking about China for a long time and the rising threat of China. So let's get your assessment of the Xi-Biden conversation earlier today.
Well, they're not releasing the conversation. That means the contents are mainly secret. I know the Chinese put out a statement very quickly, almost within 10 minutes of the talk being over, which means they had written it in advance. And it sounded like from the Chinese statement that they're not happy with the invasion of Ukraine. You know, China doesn't like to see war, this kind of general statement. But they did not condemn the invasion. They also did not promise in their open statement that they will not undercut the sanctions that the whole world has put on Russia. So if you look at just from a tough point of view, are the Chinese actually doing something to help? If they are, why would the Biden team keep it secret? They should want to announce it and say, we got China's support today for sanctions. We got China's condemnation today for the invasion of Ukraine. That didn't happen. So I tend to think this was not a successful phone call.
And Michael, if it was successful, to your point, it probably would have been released by now for sure. But I want to get your take on this. You know, if you look at the global risk of closer ties between Russia and China, should we be concerned?
Of course, this is a nightmare we've had for 50 years, that there would be a Sino-Russian axis. Frankly, Sean, one of the most dangerous things is they both have nuclear weapons. They have nuclear forces that, in the case of Russia, we try to put a cap on, have arms control. But China has refused to attend any arms control talks. They apparently want to grow their own nuclear forces, their ICBMs and their warheads, to the same level as Russia and America. So we'll have this first time in our history, we'll have this three-way nuclear balance between Russia, China, and America. That in itself is dangerous when the Chinese won't agree to come to any arms control talks.
So, Michael, obviously the Biden White House was saying there's going to be serious sanctions on Russia if they lend support to Russia. Question for you: do you think that China really cares that the U.S. might sanction them? Because if I look at it, we rely on China for almost everything. We've outsourced all of our manufacturing to China. Do they really think that we can sanction them and make that effective?
It depends, Sean, on the kind of sanctions. I think what they're afraid of is sanctions on investment. We have about $1 trillion in investment in Chinese companies now that goes through the New York Stock Exchange. We have several hundred billion more in private equity investment, especially in high-tech Chinese companies that will help them become the #1 technology power in the world. So that kind of sanction they're afraid of. Wall Street opposes those sanctions, so it's not necessarily easy for Biden to do it. I think what your point is that they're not afraid of trivial sanctions, where we put a 5% tariff on a certain Chinese Christmas present, let's say. They're not afraid of that, but they are afraid of a really total anger that might develop against China if they really are helping Putin as much as I'm afraid they are helping Putin.
Yeah, so the Chinese would love to dethrone the dollar as the global reserve currency. Do you have any concern that the U.S. sanctions, the financial sanctions, kicking Russia out of the SWIFT system, any of those sanctions on Russia could impact the dollar's reserve currency, which, by the way, would be cataclysmic for our economy?
Yes, I do, Sean. I think part of the problem is our intelligence collection against China. We've had a tradition of not risking too much for better intelligence collection. But right now, we're going to really need to know, what is China doing through its banking system and in other ways? What is China doing to secretly help Putin so they can get away with the sort of public denial that they're against aggression, but secretly continue to give Putin the energy that he needs to continue his invasion? That's what I'm worried about, Sean.
Yeah, so if you're advising the White House right now and you want to try to break up this alliance between Russia and China, what should the White House be doing? How do you actually break that connection they now have because of the Ukraine war?
I'm very pessimistic that it can be broken. It seems like they're being driven together by their opposition to the United States. And it seems also like they found common ground, that Russia used to be worried that there were 2 million undocumented Chinese in Siberia. They were worried about China taking over a lot of Russian companies. They were worried about becoming a colony of China. I actually heard a Russian in Moscow once tell me that. We don't want to become a colony of China. Somehow, the Putin team doesn't worry about that anymore. I think they should, but they seem to be so focused on winning in Ukraine, they can't think about the larger threat to Russia, which is a really powerful China, this #1 economy in the world.
Michael, I have 30 seconds left. A quick answer. When the Chinese sail one of their aircraft carriers through the Taiwanese Straits, right before this phone call, is that a message to America?
Yes, it is. They've become increasingly bold in sending signals to us over the past year under President Biden. We didn't see this kind of thing under President Trump. They found President Trump basically unpredictable, sometimes friendly, sometimes harsh against them. I think they're not so afraid of or concerned about President Biden as they were about President Trump. That's for sure.
No doubt about that. President Trump was like, get out of China. Get the hell out of China. That was his message. Come back home or go anywhere else. So, Michael Pillsbury, I always appreciate your insight. Thank you.